Ever get that feeling, like when you're trying to keep up with the internet, it's like a secret language.
Mm-hmm.
Between emojis and all the slang and the catchy phrases, it's like, how do you express yourself perfectly online? It can feel like a challenge.
Right.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a guide all about essential phrases for social media and texting.
Okay.
We're going to uncover some surprising facts about online communication and hopefully give you some tools so you can navigate this whole digital world, confidently.
Yeah.
And get this, we're going to uncover a statistic about how using emojis can seriously boost engagement online.
Yeah. It really is remarkable how much influence something as small as an emoji can have.
Right.
Using emojis can actually increase your engagement by, get this, a whopping 48%.
48%. That's huge.
Well,
Why? Why do they work so well?
think about it this way. When you talk to someone face to face, you use facial expressions, tone of voice to convey your emotions, right? Emojis essentially do the same thing online. They're like these digital versions of those nonverbal cues. They allow us to inject humor, warmth, or even sarcasm into our messages.
So basically, emojis help us humanize our digital interactions.
Exactly.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
The guide we're looking at today highlights 3 emojis in particular.
Oh, okay.
The O's, the do, and the saw.
Okay.
Why do you think these are considered essential?
Well, each one kind of serves a distinct purpose. The or face with tears of joy, that's universally understood as a sign of laughter and amusement, right?
Right.
It can really lighten the mood, maybe soften a potentially harsh statement, signal that you're not taking things too seriously.
Oh, yeah.
The bolo, whether it's the classic red heart or one of the many variations, is all about expressing affection, support, or empathy.
Okay.
It's just a simple but powerful way to connect with someone on an emotional level.
Makes sense.
And then there's the the fire emoji, which has become like shorthand for anything considered cool, exciting, or trendy.
Trendy, yeah.
It's a way to kind of signal your enthusiasm and show that you're in the know.
You're in. It's fascinating how much meaning can be packed into just a single emoji.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering, do our go-to emojis, like the ones we use all the time, reveal something deeper about our online personalities?
That's an interesting question.
Like, is there a psychology of emojis?
That's an interesting question. Maybe we subconsciously gravitate towards emojis that reflect our dominant communication style, maybe even our emotional state. Think about your most used emojis.
Okay.
And just consider what that might say about you.
Whoa. You just blew my mind.
Huh?
I'm going to have to pay a lot more attention to my emoji choices from now on.
Uh,
Okay, let's move on to another aspect of online language that I find really intriguing. Those catchy phrases that seem to pop up everywhere.
yeah.
It's like they have this almost magical ability to create a sense of belonging and community online.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Phrases like, what's the tea? Or I'm here for it. They go beyond their literal meaning. They function as social currency, signaling that you understand the nuances of online culture and can communicate in a way that resonates with others.
So it's like you're speaking the language of the internet tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For instance, think about the phrase, what's the tea?
Yeah.
It's a playful invitation to share gossip, news, or anything that's considered interesting or exciting. It's informal, it's lighthearted, instantly recognizable to those who are familiar with online lingo.
And how about, I'm here for it?
Hmm.
I see that one everywhere, but I've never really stopped to think about what it truly conveys.
It's all about expressing enthusiastic support or agreement. It's like saying, I'm on board with this, I totally get it, or I'm excited about what's happening. It's a way to join the conversation, express your enthusiasm, and connect with others who share your feelings.
It's like you're instantly part of the cheering squad.
Exactly.
I love that. Now, there are some phrases that I struggled with for a while, like low-key versus high-key. I just couldn't quite grasp the difference. Like, what's the difference between low-key and high-key?
Right. It can be confusing. These terms are all about expressing degrees of intensity or openness. Low-key implies something subtle, understated, maybe even a little bit secret. It's like you're whispering a secret.
Oh, wow.
Whereas high-key is the opposite. Upfront, bold, and unapologetically enthusiastic, like shouting it from the rooftops.
Hold on, I think I'm having an epiphany here. So using low key is kind of like whispering a secret, while high key is shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
It's all about how openly you're expressing something. That makes so much more sense.
That's a great way to put it. They add a layer of nuance to your communication, allowing you to express how strongly you feel about something.
I'm starting to feel like I'm finally cracking the code of online communication.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still so much to unpack,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to engaging with others. You know what I've noticed? A well-placed question can be incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a magic key that unlocks conversations and creates genuine connections online. The guide we're looking at highlights 2 examples of engaging questions. What's been the highlight of your week? And if you could travel anywhere right now, where would it be? I've definitely seen these types of questions online, but I've never stopped to think about why they work so well.
Well, what's brilliant about these questions is that they're open-ended,
Okay.
inviting personal responses that go beyond a simple yes or no. The first question encourages reflection and positivity, prompting people to share something good that's happened in their lives.
Right. It's like sharing a little bit of sunshine with the world.
Exactly. And the second question about travel, that taps into that shared human desire for exploration and adventure. It sparks the imagination and encourages people to share their dreams and aspirations.
Yeah. It's like you're all armchair travelers sharing our wanderlust with each other. I know I've got a whole list of dream destinations swirling in my head. You know, what really fascinates me about these questions is that they can lead to such deep and meaningful conversations. It's like they open the door to getting to know someone on a more personal level,
Yeah.
beyond the surface level of social media.
Right.
What kinds of questions do you find most engaging online?
I'm always drawn to questions that spark genuine curiosity and reflection. Questions that challenge assumptions, encourage different perspectives, or invite people to share their personal experiences and stories. Yeah, it's like we're using questions to create these little pockets of connection and understanding in this vast digital landscape.
It's amazing how much depth just a simple question can bring to online interactions.
Mm.
Okay. But we can't talk about online communication without addressing the elephant in the room.
What's that?
Slang.
Slang.
It's constantly changing, and sometimes I feel like you need a decoder ring just to understand what people are saying.
Right. Slang is like this linguistic playground where new words and phrases are constantly being invented and reinvented.
Yeah.
It's heavily influenced by pop culture, current events, and trends that just spread like wildfire online.
It's almost like a secret code that only the initiated can understand.
Right.
But that's also what makes it so fascinating, right? The guide we're looking at today highlights 2 slang terms that have become pretty popular.
Okay.
Bet and cap, or no cap.
Okay.
I've definitely heard these terms thrown around, but to be honest, I'm not always sure what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break them down for us?
Absolutely. Let's start with bet. It's kind of become this multi-purpose slang term,
Go.
often used as a casual way of saying okay or yes. It carries a sense of confidence and agreement, like you're saying you got it or I'm down with that.
So imagine you're texting with a friend about weekend plans.
Yeah.
Instead of a formal yes, a quick bet
Oh.
captures that feeling of I'm in, let's do it.
Exactly. It's concise, informal, and it conveys a sense of enthusiasm.
Okay.
Now, cap and no cap, those play with the concepts of truth and lies.
Okay.
Cap essentially means lying or exaggerating, while no cap emphasizes that what you're saying is the absolute truth.
So if I said no cap, this deep dive is blowing my mind, that would mean I'm being completely sincere.
Yes.
And I'm not just trying to sound cool or impress you.
You got it. It's like you're saying, I'm not messing around. This is the real deal.
I love how slang can inject humor and personality into our online conversations.
Yeah.
But it can also be a bit tricky, right?
It can.
One minute you think you're in the know, and the next minute you're using a term that's totally outdated. Or even worse, you're using it incorrectly.
Right.
You're like, oh no.
That's the beauty and the challenge of slang. It's constantly evolving. What's trendy today might be old news tomorrow. That's why it's so important to be aware of the context and to pay attention to how others are using language online.
So it's like a constant game of linguistic catch-up.
In a way, yes, but it's also an opportunity to be creative and expressive with language. What other slang terms have you noticed lately? Anything that kind of piques your interest or makes you laugh?
Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around bet and cap,
Yeah.
but I have noticed a lot of acronyms being used online.
Yeah.
It's like everyone is trying to save time and energy by shortening every phrase imaginable.
Yeah, acronyms are definitely a staple of online communication, and they're often used to create a sense of in-group belonging.
Oh, interesting.
For example, LOL for laughing out loud, or ong for oh my God, those have become so ubiquitous that they're practically part of mainstream vocabulary now.
It's funny how these online abbreviations have like seeped into our everyday language.
I know.
Sometimes I catch myself using them in real-life conversations.
Yeah, me too.
But acronyms can also be confusing, especially if you're not familiar with the latest ones. It's
Yeah.
like everyone is speaking in code.
That's true. Acronyms can be a bit like insider jargon,
Yeah.
but I think that's also part of their appeal. Oh. They create a sense of shared understanding among those who are in the know.
So it's like a secret handshake for the digital age.
Exactly.
I guess that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But it also makes me wonder, are we losing something by relying so heavily on abbreviations and shortened forms of language? I mean, does it impact our ability to express ourselves fully and eloquently?
That's a fascinating question, and I think it's one that linguists and language experts will be debating for years to come.
Yeah.
On the one hand, acronyms and abbreviations can be seen as a form of linguistic laziness.
Okay.
But on the other hand, they reflect the fast-paced, ever-evolving nature of digital communication.
So it's like we're sacrificing eloquence for efficiency.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that language is constantly evolving, and these online trends are simply a reflection of that evolution.
That's a really insightful way to look at it. So instead of judging these trends, we should try to understand them and see them as part of a larger linguistic shift.
Exactly. Language is a living, breathing thing, and online communication is shaping its future in ways we can only begin to imagine.
It's both exciting and a little bit scary, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like thinking about how our digital interactions are influencing the way we communicate with each other in the real world.
Yeah,
But I guess that's a topic for another deep dive.
absolutely. There's so much more to explore when it comes to the intersection of language, technology, and human connection.
I'm already feeling inspired to pay more attention to the way I use language online.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've given me a whole new lens through which to view digital communication.
Oh, good.
You know, it's not just about getting my message across.
Yeah.
It's about being mindful, creative, and engaging in a way that feels authentic to me. It feels like we've uncovered a treasure trove of insights about online communication today.
I know, right? We barely scratched the surface.
I know.
But hopefully you've gained some valuable tools and perspectives that you can apply to your own digital interactions.
Absolutely. It's been eye-opening to explore the nuances of emojis, catchy phrases, engaging questions, and even slang.
Yeah.
Who knew there was so much depth to something as seemingly simple as like a text message or a social media post?
Right. It all comes back to the power of language, even in its digital forms.
So let's recap what we've learned today.
Okay.
First up, emojis.
Emojis.
They're not just cute little pictures.
Right.
They can actually boost engagement, add personality to our messages, and even convey emotions that words sometimes struggle to capture.
Yeah, they're like the secret sauce of online communication.
Exactly. Then we explored those catchy phrases that seem to spread like wildfire online.
Mm-hmm.
They're more than just words.
Right.
They're like social currency, signaling that you're in the know and part of a specific online community.
Yeah, they can create a sense of belonging and shared understanding.
We also delved into the art of asking engaging questions online.
Yes.
Turns out a well-placed question can spark conversations, create connections, and even lead to deeper, more meaningful interactions.
Absolutely. It's about being curious, thoughtful, and genuinely interested in others.
And finally, we ventured into the ever-evolving world of slang.
Slang.
It can be tricky to keep up, but it's also a fascinating reflection of how language adapts to our changing digital landscape.
Yeah, slang is a reminder that language is constantly evolving. And we have the power to shape its future.
Wow, you've given me so much to think about. I feel like I can finally level up my online game.
Here's a challenge for you.
Okay.
Next time you're scrolling through social media, just pay attention to the language people use.
Okay.
What stands out to you? What feels authentic?
Okay.
Then think about your own online voice.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of impression do you want to make? Remember, you have the power to shape your digital identity.
That's such a powerful reminder. We're not just passive consumers of online language.
Right.
We're active participants in shaping its evolution.
Exactly.
So cool.
Embrace the nuances, experiment with different styles, and most importantly, have fun connecting with others in the digital world.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Until next time. Ever get that feeling like the internet is speaking a language you're only almost fluent in?
Yeah.
You know, like you're missing a few
Right.
vocabulary words.
Definitely.
Well, we are diving into a guide today.
Okay.
It's all about essential phrases for social media and texting.
Sounds good.
I'm hoping it'll help all of us decode
Yeah.
some of the nuances
Yeah.
of digital language
Absolutely.
and really level up our online game.
Yeah, I think that feeling of being out of the loop is actually
Yeah.
super common
Totally.
because online communication
Oh,
is like its own language
Yeah.
that's constantly evolving.
Absolutely. And speaking of evolving,
Yeah.
our guide actually starts by saying that emojis
Okay.
can boost engagement by almost 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
They specifically call out
Interesting.
the laughing crying emoji,
Okay.
the red heart,
Uh-huh.
and the fire emoji
Got it.
as like
Power players.
power players. Yeah. I use those all the time, but
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about
Yeah.
why they're so effective.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
When you're talking to someone like face to face,
Mm,
you can hear their tone of voice, see their facial expressions.
right.
You can really get a sense of what they really mean.
Totally.
But online,
Yeah.
you're missing all those cues.
Oh.
Emojis step in to fill that gap.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about like
Mhm.
being cute or funny.
Right.
It's about
It's about making sure that your message is understood.
totally.
Like take the laughing crying emoji, for example.
Okay.
Without it, a joke could easily be mistaken
Oh, yeah.
for a serious statement.
That's true.
But that little face with tears of joy
Yeah.
immediately clarifies that you're being playful.
Totally. And then
Yeah.
red heart can mean
Oh, yeah.
so many things.
For sure.
Obviously love,
Yeah.
but also support, gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
even emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're putting a big exclamation point on a feeling.
You got it. And
Yeah.
then there's fire, which is
Yeah.
definitely having a moment.
Oh, yeah. I drop that one all the time.
Yeah.
But beyond just saying something is awesome,
Right.
is there like
Yeah.
a deeper meaning?
It's fascinating how that one emoji has taken on so many layers.
Right.
It can be about literal fire,
Mhm.
but also attractiveness skill, something being trendy,
Right.
or even sarcasm,
Oh.
depending on the context.
Okay.
It's almost like a visual metaphor.
I never thought of it that way.
Right.
Okay, so emojis are clearly more than just
Mhm.
cute little pictures.
For sure.
But what about actual, like,
Right.
phrases?
Yeah.
The guide also mentions
Right.
some key phrases
Okay.
that are essential for sounding natural
Mm-hmm.
in online conversations.
It's all about fitting in and
Right.
belonging.
Yeah.
Using the right phrases signals that you're part of the online community, that you understand the lingo.
Right.
It's like having the secret handshake.
All right, give me the secret handshake then.
Okay.
2 phrases that caught my eye were,
Okay.
what's the tea?
Okay.
And I'm here for it.
So what's the tea is basically
Yeah.
a playful way of asking for the latest gossip or news.
Yeah.
Like, fill me in.
Right.
But make it fun and internet-y.
I getcha.
And it seems like everyone's saying, I'm here for it these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's such an enthusiastic,
Yeah.
positive phrase.
Right.
It's like a supercharged way of
Oh,
saying
okay.
you agree with something or
Yeah.
that you're excited about it.
Right.
You're signaling strong support
Right.
and adding energy to the conversation.
So far, so good. I'm feeling more fluent already.
Okay, good.
But then there are phrases like low-key and high-key
Yeah.
that I have to admit I
Mhm.
sometimes get mixed up.
It's a common confusion
Right.
because it's all about nuance. Think of it as like a volume control of
Okay.
your words.
Okay.
Low key is like whispering a secret.
Mm-hmm.
You're hinting at something
Okay.
without being too obvious.
So it's like
Yeah.
I'm kind of into this,
Uh-huh.
but in a cool,
Yeah,
understated way.
exactly.
Oh, but-
Whereas high key is like
Mhm.
shouting your enthusiasm from the rooftops.
Yeah, okay.
You're being upfront and passionate about something.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So low-key, I'm obsessed with this new song
right.
versus high-key, this is the best song ever.
You got it. It's like
Oh.
you've unlocked a
Okay.
new level of expressiveness.
This is making so much sense.
Good.
Now, how about we dive into a few more examples?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think our listeners are ready
Let's
to
get it.
expand their vocabulary even further.
Awesome. Absolutely. Let's shift gears a bit
Huh?
and talk about asking questions online.
Okay.
Our guide emphasizes how crucial it is to keep those conversations flowing,
Right.
and they suggest trying out things like
Okay.
what's been the highlight of your week?
Yeah.
Or if you could travel anywhere right now,
Okay.
where would it be?
I see. I usually just
Yeah.
like a post or maybe leave a quick, nice pic.
Yeah.
But I can see how those kinds of questions
Right.
would spark more interesting conversations.
Absolutely.
What's like the psychology behind that?
So think about the kinds of responses
Okay.
those questions invite.
Yeah.
Instead of just a yes or no,
Right.
they encourage people to open up share something personal, maybe even reflect a little.
Oh.
And that's where those real connections start to form.
So it's like you're inviting someone to tell you a
Style.
mini story.
Yeah.
Which is way more engaging than just passively liking something.
Right. And both of those questions have a really positive vibe.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not asking what's stressing you out or what's the worst thing you ate this week.
Right.
You're focusing on good things, happy memories, dreams.
Yeah.
It just sets a more positive tone.
Okay, I'm going to start working those questions into my online conversations.
Awesome.
But there's one section in this guide
that
I'm still feeling a little intimidated by.
All right.
Trending slang.
Yeah.
I mean, slang changes so fast.
It does.
How are we even supposed to keep up?
I get it. It can feel like you're constantly playing catch up.
Ooh.
But that's also what makes slang so fascinating. It's like a window into how language evolves.
Right.
Especially online.
So it's not just about, like, knowing the words.
It's more than that.
Okay.
It's about understanding where those words come from.
Okay.
The culture they represent.
Right.
When you decode slang, you're cracking a cultural code.
Okay.
It gives you insight into the humor, the values, the experiences of the people who use it.
I see. Well, let's crack the code then.
Okay.
The guide focuses on bet
and
the duo Capno.
Got it.
As prime examples.
All right, let's break it down.
Okay.
Bet has become so popular in recent years.
But she has
basically a very chill way of saying yes. Okay. Or, I mean,
gotcha.
Like if someone suggests grabbing tacos and you're like, bet.
Yeah.
You're not literally placing a wager.
Wow.
You're just showing enthusiastic agreement.
So bet, it's like yes, but cooler.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then there's cap and no cap.
Yeah.
Which are all about playing with truth and authenticity.
Okay.
Cap essentially means lie or exaggeration. Like you're calling someone out for stretching the truth.
So if someone says, I totally aced that test, and you think they're fibbing, you'd hit them with cap.
You got it. And no cap means the exact opposite. Okay.
It's like saying no lie.
Right.
Or for real.
Gotcha.
You're emphasizing that you're being truthful.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now.
Good.
But where did these terms even come from?
Right.
They seem to have just exploded out of nowhere.
They might seem new to some.
Yeah.
But a lot of slang actually originates from African-American vernacular English.
Okay.
Also known as AAVE. This has its own unique history and linguistic features.
Okay.
And social media platforms like TikTok and Twitter have helped spread these terms to a much wider audience.
So it's not just about learning new words.
Right.
It's about understanding a whole different way of using language.
Exactly.
It feels like I'm getting a crash course in linguistics and internet culture at the same time.
That's the beauty of it. And what's even more interesting is how AAVE itself borrows from and blends with other languages and dialects.
Creating this incredibly dynamic and constantly evolving form of communication.
That's cool.
For example, the way these sounds are often pronounced as D sounds in AAVE, like that for that, has made its way into mainstream slang.
I've noticed that.
You even hear it in music and pop culture now.
Totally. It's everywhere.
Wow. I had no idea. There was so much history and depth behind these seemingly simple words.
That's fascinating.
This guide has given me a whole new appreciation for the way we communicate online.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole world of slang out there to explore.
Yeah.
And it's constantly changing.
Yeah, that's true.
But with a little bit of knowledge and a curious mindset, you can definitely keep up.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Good. I'm glad.
I feel like I've gone from feeling lost in the world of internet slang to being able to navigate it with more confidence. And that confidence is key because it allows you to engage more fully in online conversations, connect with people from different backgrounds, and express yourself in more creative and nuanced ways.
So let's wrap up this incredible deep dive with some key takeaways.
Sounds good.
For our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From the power of emojis to the nuances of slang and the art of asking engaging questions.
For sure.
What are the top 3 takeaways you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, I think first, embrace visual communication. Emojis aren't just for fun. They're crucial for conveying emotion and personality in a world where we're often missing those nonverbal cues.
Gotcha. Second,
Second,
Stay curious about language,
yeah,
especially online.
especially online.
Slang changes fast,
It does.
but it's a reflection of broader cultural trends
Absolutely.
and a chance to connect
Yeah,
with different communities.
for sure.
And third,
Uh,
don't underestimate the power
right.
of asking open-ended questions.
Those open-ended questions.
Yeah.
It's the key to sparking meaningful conversations
It's true.
and building genuine relationships online.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
Yeah, it has been fun.
I feel like I've gained a superpower,
Yeah,
the ability to decode
right.
the secret language of the internet.
And remember, it's not about memorizing
Yeah.
every single term or trend.
Right.
It's about developing a sense of awareness
Yeah.
and understanding the underlying principles.
Gotcha.
Language is constantly evolving, and that's part of the fun.
So true. This whole conversation has really got me thinking. How does the evolution of language online
Oh, that's a good question.
impact the way we communicate offline?
Yeah.
Are we seeing these online phrases and
Yeah.
slang terms
Yeah.
bleeding into our everyday
Every
conversations?
You know, that's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
I've actually noticed myself using bet
Oh, yeah.
in real life conversations without
Mhm.
even thinking about it.
Yeah, me too.
It's almost like our digital and physical worlds are
Uh.
becoming more and more intertwined.
Yeah, it's like our brains can't help
Right.
but blend those worlds together.
Exactly.
I wonder if it's changing
Hmm.
the way we think or express ourselves
It could be.
in general.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Pay attention to the language trends around you,
Yeah.
both online and offline.
Okay.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
This has been an amazing journey
Yes.
from emojis and slang
Uh-huh.
to the very heart of language and culture.
I agree.
I feel like I've leveled up my communication skills
Good.
in ways I never expected.
And that's the beauty of lifelong learning.
Yeah,
There's always something new to discover,
that's true.
especially in the ever-evolving world
Right.
of digital communication.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
Of course. Thanks for having me.
for this incredible deep dive into the language of the internet.
Anytime.
Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious,
Yeah.
and most importantly, have fun connecting with others.
Absolutely.